Alright, so we are at 1465 Ohio 131 state route, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. Now, we went through a clean out in the back, and it ended up being, thought it was blocked, but it ended up being cut off, and it was a dead end. It had been abandoned, and they had actually run the sewer. They put sewer down the road, and so now there is a clean out front, which I had to dig up. It was covered, and we're going to be going from here out to the main. So I should be able to go both directions, but what happened was that apparently this was an old septic line, and the clean out in the backyard was the old clean out, and it was visible, and there are clean outs in the neighbor's backyard, so it was assumed that was the sewer. We went through it, it was full of mud, and the home inspector was actually in the basement, or in the crawl space, excuse me, saw that once we ran water, nothing was coming out, and saw that it was still got some mud here on the front of the camera. I have to pull this back out and rinse it off. I'm trying to go upstream. So then we're going to give that another shot here. And we got more mud on the front of the camera again. So hopefully we can get it to go up and get it to rinse off some of the water.
I'm going to rinse the water?
Yeah, some's already running in the kitchen, isn't it?
Alright, turn it off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to run some water and see if it'll... Looks like it's partially rinsing off. There we go. We're starting to be able to see. We are going to a smaller diameter pipe going back, and once again this is probably going over to the kitchen. But now we can actually see. This is going to be PVC all the way out, especially since it's a fairly new sewer. This is probably where the bathroom comes in. There's some of that water running. Try to rinse that off the camera here. But we saw, it looked like the pipe was in really good shape. It was PVC, there was no bellies or anything, and all the pipe connections look nice and clear, or nice and tight. That all looked really good. We are back into the clean out. You can see dripping off the front of the camera here, but you can see we are back out front. And now we're going to be going downstream out towards the main. There's just so much mud bottom of this that I'm gonna have to keep pulling it back out of here to get the mud off of it. Hopefully one of these times it'll be clean enough to keep going down the pipe. What it is there's a buildup of mud right here at the base of the clean out. There we go. So we started at about 9 feet there. That's The footage on the bottom left-hand corner is counted by the rotation of the drum that holds the camera. And so as we push, it starts at about 9 feet, but mainly that's just a reference number because I can locate the camera exactly if I do find any issues. And so far, this is PVC all the way out, and it looks really good. There's a little bit of water here. Small bellies are not unusual. My camera has a minimal standoff on it, which is holding it up a little bit to kind of center it in the pipe. But it is still roughly 1.5 inches off the bottom of the pipe, so it's not much. This is a 4-inch Schedule 40. That's the type of PVC pipe it is. It's rated by the wall thickness, which means it is code for exterior pipe. So there's a little bit of a belly. You can tell it goes down once I stop pushing. I'm pushing water in front of it. There are no solids resting in here, but I will reference that on the report. I don't think it's an issue. It's just I will reference it and mark it in the yard. Basically, that usually happens when they put the pipe in the ground. A lot of times when they throw the dirt back on it to cover it up, some spots sink a little further than others. So we are dropping down, maybe dropping down into the main, dropping into this is STR. It's a different type of PVC. It looks like we are dropping down into the main here. It's hard to see because we are covered, but yeah, I am going to. That is definitely the main, but I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go locate exactly where this is so we know where it drops off, because there may actually be a clean out somewhere covered up. So I'm going to pause the video. Everything looked really good. We do have those small, some small bellies in there, but nothing of major concern. I will mark them just for note, but I don't think they're causing an issue at this point. So again, I'm going to pause and locate this to find out where the main is for reference. Okay, so this is there is a clean out there. It's got a metal cap on it. I had to dig it up, and it is like an MSD clean out. It usually indicates from here on out it is owned by a municipality. They probably drilled in this sewer line under the road so that they didn't have to cut the road and go down. So what I'm going to try to do is get this to go down, and see it's dripping the water, and then it should, when it gets down here, hopefully it'll turn for me, and we'll be going out towards the main, and hopefully we can get the front of the camera cleaned off here. So it is going, but does not want to clean the camera off here. So as it dropped and went into that 90, I am just fishing stuff out here. We want to be able to see what's going on. all I can do is keep messing with it and seeing if I can get it to go. There we go. Alright, I think I'm in the main. There we go. So I made it all the way to the main, so now we'll be able to inspect it all the way back. It's kind of what I was hoping for. So, as I mentioned before, this green stuff is SDR35. It's the same, basically the same structure as the Schedule 40 I talked about earlier, but a lot of times municipalities use this as an exterior pipe. And it may actually go into 6-inch into this. This section right here is right where it drops into the main. The main is across the street. And so now we should be able to make sure that the rest of this line underneath the road is good, even though these situations usually means that the county is responsible for this section. But this is relatively new, so I think the house was built in like 1988, and this was obviously put in after the house was built. It was originally on septic. So this all looks really good. The water is still running, and so you obviously don't see anything building up. Water is running from the bathroom sinks. So you can see it running by, but no buildup at all. It has nice pitch on it. And here we are where I went down, where I marked that clean out. I did mark the clean out right here. It's got a metal cap on it. I dug it up. So if anybody ever has to get into it, they can open that cap, get down in it. And here we are back in the white. This is, again, Schedule 40. Same basic wall thickness, but it's just rated different. Again, this all looked really good on the way out. We had a little bit of a belly here. That was kind of what I was going to mark, is right here at the end of this. I'm just going to mark it for reference. So I will pause the video right here at the end of it. And this is with water running, so it's not as drastic. You know, with the water running, it's going to have more buildup than normal. But I'm going to mark this spot and then mark the beginning of it also. Okay. Again, this is just very, very minor. This is a minor belly. It's not anything that's of concern, but I do just want to reference it. That 79 feet is the end. Really starts at about 73. It's only about 5 foot long. Here's another, minor belly. This might have been the one that was a little bit deeper. We'll see. Nope, that one It was the second one, and this is with water running, so these are really minor. I hate to even mark them. We should be coming up here shortly to the clean out. There we are. So as you can see, we have pulled out of the clean out. And back in the reel. So really, the only even thing worth mentioning was that belly, and I did mark it. But it's really just to note it. It's not an issue. There's no solids in it, and that's with water running, that little bit of water. So it's less than an inch of water in that short, like 5-foot run. Usually, it's probably been there since the line was put in. Like I've mentioned before, it happens sometimes when they put the pipe in the ground, and then when they bed it, sometimes there's a spot that was a little low, and it just sunk that little bit. But it's not holding any solids, and the line is flowing free and clear. So it's not an issue, but I did want to, at least make a mention of it. So, but other than that, the line looks really good. No real issues found, and so that'll end the inspection at 1465 Ohio State Route 131.